It was Mystic Mac, and you know he's talking about fighting Kamaru Usman. Like, ooh, be careful what you ask for.
Really?
Be careful what you ask for. Usman is a big man, and he is top of food chain right now.
Yeah.
That's the best pound for pound fighter alive is Kamaru Usman, and he's a natural 170. You got to remember, Conor McGregor won the title at 145.
Fucking hell, that's small.
And then he went up to 155, and he knocked out Eddie Alvarez. He became the champ. So he's holding 2 titles concurrently. And then he fought at 170, but he fought Cowboy Cerrone, who's a natural 155 pounder. And you know, no knock on Cowboy, and Cowboy's beat a lot of good 170 pounders. He's an elite fighter, but Usman's a different thing. That's a different peak because no oxygen at the top of that mountain.
Shit.
You know, that's as good as it gets ever at 170. I would put Kamaru Usman up against any 170 pound fighter that's ever lived. I mean, I'm not saying that he would beat Georges St. Pierre. I'm not saying he would beat all of them, but he might beat all of them. He might be the best that's ever been at 170. He's as good as they get. He's got ferocious knockout power. He's elite at wrestling. Nobody puts him on his back. Colby Covington got a very quick takedown. Daniel Cormier called it a takedown. He's a world-class wrestler. He said it's a takedown. I say it's a takedown, but it was very quick, and Usman right back up to his feet. But Kamaru is as good as anybody has ever been at 170, and he also has one punch knockout power. You know, he knocked out Jorge Masvidal with one punch, and Jorge was thought to be the striker in that fight. Kamaru was thought to be, you know, the all well-rounded fighter who's a great striker and a great wrestler, but you would think that if the advantage existed for Masvidal, it would be as a striker, and then Usman shut the lights out with one shot. Just the cleanest right hand I think anybody's ever thrown in the history of the sport. It was so clean that Masvidal was unconscious as he was going down, and his face bounces off Kamaru's shoulder.
Oh, shit.
Like clunk, like as he's going out. Watch this. Look, his head snaps back. Watch his head. Like he just goes out. Look at that. I mean, and listen to us screaming like a little girl. In DC, we're screaming. It was crazy because you would think that Kamaru would have an advantage in the fight overall because he's the best, and they fought before, and he dominated him in a decision. But Masvidal had his moments in the striking. But Kamaru is so good and so dedicated, and his mind is so fucking strong that he got so much better in the striking that he knocked him out standing in the next fight.
There's history to be made. The game is to be shook up again. The Triple Crown has never been done. It'll never be done in my lifetime. No one will do this in my lifetime. You know what I mean? To win 3. When I knock Kamaru Usman out at 170, that'll be 3 UFC world titles won, moving upward with 3 knockouts. I knocked out Aldo, I knocked out Alvarez, and knocked out Kamaru Usman. 3 knockouts, 3 world titles, 3 weights going up.
Champ.
I'll figure out something more catchy. I'll figure out a catchy one for them.
Give me a photo of Kamaru's body. I don't want to ride the jock, but too late. I mean, he's fucking shredded at 170 pounds. I mean, look at him. Dude, hey, look at that picture where he's pounding on his chest. That one there, over there when he's pounding. Look at that. Come the fuck on, son. He's fucking jacked. And he's about perfect for 170 in terms of like his dimensions. He's just tall enough, just strong enough. There's like a thing where like all the pieces have to be in place, especially in the UFC because there's so many weight classes. But the space in between the weight classes is so big. Like the gap between 155 and 170 is 15 pounds. That's the advantage that Usman has. To be a great fighter, all the pieces have to be in place. You have to have amazing genetics. Conor give up. They've made him tap.
Yep.
You know, he's tapped. Nobody's made Usman top except one time. One time, the second fight of his career, he got caught in a rear naked choke and he got tapped out. But, you know, he was new. He was beginning, and, you know, it was like tap or nap. Like, take a choice. You got caught. You got caught in a rear naked choke and it was perfect. And, you know, anybody's ever been caught in a rear naked choke and it's perfect, you know, like, you're not getting out. And he wasn't good enough at jiu-jitsu at that time to get out. But since then, he smashed everybody.
Yeah.
He was the guy that when he was running through opponents on his way to the title, everybody was calling everybody out. I don't want to fight this guy. I don't want to fight guy. Nobody said Kamaru. Nobody's like, give me Usman. Like, what? People would go, what the fuck are you saying?
And was he sitting there going, how come no one's calling me out? I need these fights.
100%. I would talk to him when I would interview him after fights. Like he was calling everybody out. He was the nightmare. I mean, that's his nickname. Right. He's the Nigerian nightmare. That was what he really is. He was the nightmare because everybody was like, let me get to the title before he comes there. Like, let me get a
Let me get a taste before he comes in too hard.
Just give me a piece. Because there's guys that are so good. They're so good that you really don't know who's going to be able to beat them. And with Kamaru, the guy in his division is Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev has had 4 fights in the UFC. He's been hit twice.
What?
Dude, he's undefeated. He has more victories in the UFC than he's been hit. And I'm not exaggerating.
Shit.
He's so fucking good, it's terrifying. He's so good, it's terrifying. Khamzat smashed people. See if you can find a highlight of Khamzat. Smash smashes people. And he's from Chechnya.
Yeah.
He's a wild motherfucker with his crazy beard. And after the fights, he's like, I kill everybody. I'm going to kill everybody. He's fucking terrifying, man. And the people that train with him said, bro, you've only seen a fraction of what this guy's capable of.
Shit.
His work ethic is unstoppable. Give me a rewind before that. This is Gerald Mearshart. He smoked him with one punch. First punch of the fight. Smokes him. I'm telling you, man, this motherfucker is wild. And he's like, I kill everybody. I kill everybody. But everybody he's fought. His last fight, he fought Li Jingliang. He grabs him, picks him up, and brings him over to Dana White. So this guy, he just beat the shit out of him and stopped him. But I want to see, and this is one of the guys this is one of the few times he's been hit. And like these, they count these as punches. Like, look at this. He's getting controlled, and this guy from his back reaches up and kind of punches him a little bit in the face, and they counted there. Look at this.
That's so disrespectful.
Look at this. He picks him up. He carries him in the air, and look, he walks over to Dana White. He's like, look, Dana, I smack. He throws him down.
See Chimaev lift him. He carries him over to the boss. He's like, hey, man, I got him. He's going to say all kind of crazy things. Throws him down. And then from here,
he's not even paying attention to the fighter. He's not even paying attention to him.
He's having a chat with Dana.
He is the future. If he can maintain this standard of performance as he faces stiffer and stiffer competition, and we'll find out very soon because he's fighting Gilbert Burns, who's a world champion jiu-jitsu guy, top of the food chain MMA fighter, a guy who's been in there against Kamaru Usman, a guy who's beaten guys like Damian Maia, a guy who's beaten Tyron Woodley. He's beaten like elite fighters. He's a big step up in competition for Khamzat. But if Chimaev can beat him, if he can beat Gilbert, he's the real deal. And we're going to find out because the competition that he's faced so far has not been anywhere near the level of Gilbert Burns. Gilbert Burns is absolutely elite. He's a fantastic striker. He is as good on the ground as anybody. He's so good. His jiu-jitsu is so top level. His wrestling is excellent. His cardio is excellent. He's a fierce competitor. And he's a world-class fighter. He's like proven world-class competitor. So that's a big fight. And that's coming up next. I think that's in Florida. That's a big fight. He's several fights away from fighting Usman. Because if you look at it realistically, right now I think Leon Edwards is next for Kamaru Usman. I think Dana White has said that. And I think that's right. That's the best fight. Leon is a spectacular fighter, super technical, super high level. That's going to be a great fight. They fought once before. Kamaru won a decision, but it wasn't like he didn't destroy him. And Leon has gotten substantially better. So is Kamaru. That's a great fight. That would be next. But if Khamzat can keep going, if he can get past Gilbert Burns, and that's a big if, because Gilbert's a big step up. But if he can maintain the level of performance we've seen from him up until now in the octagon, that's a big fight. But there's a lot of ifs there.
Right.
Look, he got really sick and kept training and almost retired because he's so tough that he tried to keep training when he was recovering and got like his lungs were bleeding. There's a picture of him where he posted on Instagram that he's going to retire, and he showed a photo of his toilet bowl, and the toilet bowl was filled with blood, like splattered blood from him coughing blood into the toilet. He was one of those guys that's just like too tough and kept training, didn't recover. Like he got fucking, I trained, he would, I fucking trained. So he kept training while he was like coughing blood up, and it took him a long time. He was in the hospital on multiple occasions. More than one time he was in the hospital because he would get better. They let him out of the hospital and he would train again. And then he'd get back in the hospital. They're like, what the fuck are you doing back here again? Like he wouldn't just recover. So he's just an animal, just a complete animal.
Yeah, right.
But super technical too. Like an elite wrestler, fantastic striker, work ethic second to none. So it's going to take someone like that. He's got to keep going. He's got to beat guys like Gilbert Burns. He's got to beat world-class fighters for him to legitimately have a shot at the title. But if he can keep going, what a story that is. And that would be an epic fight. And again, there's a lot of ifs.
Does he have the time? Is he getting old?
He's young.
He's good.
He's young.
Yeah.
How old is Khamzat? I think he's in his 20s.
Shit.
Yeah. And I think Kamaru is 34, I believe. I believe Kamaru's 34. Kamaru's trying to fight Canelo Alvarez. He wants to get that big money fight with Canelo Alvarez, have a boxing match.
Of course.
27. Yeah, amazing. He's a fucking animal, man. And he fights at 185, fight at 170. He doesn't give a fuck. He's a terror. He's a real terror.